since you are working in the ground, you are facing the real challenges. Maybe you could identify one challenge that you have faced that, and how you overcome that kind of challenge so that we can learn from your experience.
So the challenges is like internet. Actually, in my Totopara, the main problem is the internet and the communications. And sometimes, जब कोई online जो करना है, okay, and to do the some form fill up of government schemes and all. But क्या होता है कि हम लोगों को awareness और नहीं मिलती जल्दी because of lack of internet and all. But now some changes in our Totopara. That is, अभी Wi-Fi आ गए यहाँ पे. So through Wi-Fi we are doing, but sometimes Wi-Fi भी उतनी काम नहीं करते क्योंकि Totopara is like जो locations है very in a different place. जो northern parts जो पहाड़ से घिरे हुए and southern and eastern parts there is rivers. So क्या होता है कि internet अच्छे से जा नहीं पाते, and that's why to do some like government schemes और वगैरह और कोई अगर करना है तो that it makes me a big challenges. Thank you.
Speaking of challenges, I think what we ran into when we were trying to implement the entire sensor and smart farm system was that fine, but most of the farmers are 45 and up or 50 and up, and most of the kids are in the city or they're abroad working. So you are dealing with a group of people who really don't understand technology to that extent. And their bottom line is, fine, how much is my rice worth right now in the market? You know, I've got it growing, that's fine, but what is it worth right now? So it's access to data, and it's more the, basically, you know, the stomach and the mouth. How do you feed, and what is it worth? How much money can I get? So those are the challenges that we were facing. So that's why we implemented this survey with the farmers, because what is it they wanted from the system? Because what we were initially doing is, okay, this is something that is a problem, we're addressing the problem. Is it a problem for them, right? And so we had to go back and have a look at, okay, but what is it that the farmers want in terms of technology, in terms of communications? And I think that's pretty much the idea for all of us here, is access to information. And so how could we then shift our project and provide that access and that information to them?
सर चैलेंजेस की बात करें तो मैं उत्तराखंड के हिल एरिया से बिलोंग करता हूं, तो वहां सबसे बड़ा इशू नेटवर्क का है और रोड कनेक्टिविटी का है. तो वहां के जो लोग हैं, जैसे कोई गवर्नमेंट स्कीम आ गई या फिर कोई कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्ज़ाम है तो उसको फिल करना है, तो उनको जो नोटिफिकेशन आता है वो उनको पता करते करते वो नोटिफिकेशन का लास्ट डेट चले जाता है. तो काफ़ी सारे अपनी अपॉर्चुनिटी को मिस कर जाते हैं, जिससे वो फॉर्म हम नहीं भर पाते हैं. और काफ़ी छोटी छोटी चीज़ें हैं, जैसे किसी को अपने हिल एरियाज़ में कोई टाउन में उनके बच्चे स्टडी के लिए आते हैं तो वो उनसे बात नहीं कर पाते हैं, कनेक्टिविटी नहीं. अगर उनको बताना है या कुछ करना है तो कोई वहाँ के लोकल टैक्सी ट्रैवलर होते हैं, उनके थ्रू अपना मैसेज पास करते हैं. तो अगर इंटरनेट आ गया और CSC सेंटर के थ्रू वो अपना जो हमारे कम्युनिटी सेंटर्स हैं उनके थ्रू अपने फॉर्म फिलअप कर सकते हैं और जो छोटी मोटी चीज़ें ऑनलाइन जानकारी ले सकते हैं. बाकी ये सारी चीज़ें हैं.
So I'll first translate what he's saying. So he's saying that one of the major issue which he in his community is facing is filing application forms for government jobs and getting other notifications and OTPs from that. So that's the major challenge which he's facing right now. For us, we are working in a community, we are working in Nandurbar, one of the most tribal districts in India. So one of the important major challenge which we are facing right now is lack of trust from the community. Because these are the community members who most of the people has never seen internet, or so right, we have access to mobile phone. We started accessing mobile phone in 2003, 4 or 5. But these are the people who are getting network connection now in 2024. So they're already 20 or 20 years back. So the most important challenge which we are facing is lack of trust. How we are dealing is, we are making them aware that, see, this is very important right now. If you want to go ahead, if you want anything, be it a simple OTP, you need it. So that's one of the major issue which we are facing, lack of trust, and we are doing it by people's participations only.
Thanks so much. I also add another challenge that we faced. It's actually related to policies and regulations. In the work that we've been doing in the community networks, it could have been much faster, easier, and cheaper if the regulations and policies were not as strict in Kyrgyzstan as they are now. And it's very much related to the TV white space as well. So in Kyrgyzstan, to the community networks, you could use potentially license-free spectrum. However, our law says that you can use the license-free spectrum indoors. So even if you have, like, if you in your territory from one house to another house, use your Wi-Fi, you are breaking the law theoretically. But if you talk to the authorities, you know, could we make it easier? Could we allow to use the TV white space so that more people, especially people in very remote parts of the world, and in Kyrgyzstan, in the remote part of the country, can have access to it? The regulators are somewhat reserved because they think that spectrum is an asset that you need to sell at the highest price. So the incentive is to get more money from the spectrum, whereas incentive should be connect more people and make it possible through, you know, that kind of regulation. So that was one of the major hurdles that we faced. In terms of closing the gender digital divide and how this project is helping, this is very much related to the availability of relevant tools and services for rural communities. So at the moment, my colleagues are traveling in Kyrgyzstan in very remote parts of the country, providing trainings on digital skills and digital hygiene, as well as kind of how to use the e-government services, how to use these kinds of dashboards, so that people in rural communities, especially women and girls, and these trainings are actually targeted specifically and are programmed specifically for women and girls. So we try to have at least 50% women participating in these trainings. And the second aspect, what we found is that we wanted to provide this kind of very high-level scientific trainings to scientific community of Kyrgyzstan. And when our trainers came from Italy, we found out that the gender balance, it's not gender balanced, the scientific community, but actually it's gender imbalanced. There are more women scientists in Kyrgyzstan. So that was very heartwarming. And I think earlier today, there was an exercise where you could ask the AI, I want to become a doctor, and what kind of picture it provides. So I think it should be that if you say, I want to become an engineer, it shouldn't be just a male face, it could be women and girls. So that's how we want to use this case to encourage more girls to become scientists.